The Amalgamated Transit Union held its historic 57th convention in San Diego, California, with the theme, So Much More. Delegates from across the United States and Canada gathered to review the accomplishments of the past 3 years and chart a course to address the challenges they expect to face in the near future. International President Larry Hanley and International Secretary-Treasurer Oscar Owens were unanimously re-elected, and International Vice President Javier Perez Jr. was elected International Executive Vice President.
I thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and I'll renew a promise I made last time. I'll spend the next 3 years working hard to say thank you to each one of you again. So thank you very much.
Delegates also unanimously re-elected 15 international vice presidents and unanimously elected 3 more to first terms. In a convention first, delegates participated in special ATU Convention Training Academy workshops to enhance their skills in responding to the problems they encounter as 21st century transit labor leaders. These innovative educational experiences are all part of the union's continuing efforts to train and educate local officers and members. Throughout the week, convention committees worked hard to review and hone resolutions, amendments to the ATU Constitution, and reports that came to the convention floor. In the week's longest discussion, delegates grappled with proposals to help locals fight back against the rising tide of privatization and anti-union bills emerging in state and provincial legislatures.
You know, we have so many small locals that need to have some structure around them to help them function more effectively, to help them be able to deal with employers, to help them be able to deal with elected officials, and to help them firm up the spine of the ATU.
After extensive and sometimes intense debate, the convention amended the ATU Constitution to establish new joint industrial councils, create new joint service councils, and institute new funding measures to sustain these efforts. A series of resolutions was also passed to increase ATU educational and training opportunities, amend local bylaws and election rules, reaffirm the union's commitment to coalition building, and support social justice causes. Throughout the week, delegates heard from notable speakers including legislators from both our countries and international allies. The overwhelming sentiment expressed throughout the week reflected the urgency the convention felt to fix the mass transit crisis and fight the corporate and political powers intent on dismantling U.S. and Canadian labor law. Delegates expressed their commitment to defeat the attempts by anti-union politicians to turn workers against each other through the vilification of organized labor and union-busting tactics.
You know, there's something I know for sure. A modern transit system is critical to building our country's future. We need a strong coalition of transit workers and transit passengers to fight together for the investments in transit that will allow our economy to grow and prosper.
Too often, pundits and politicians forget that it's everyday people who make our cities, our provinces, our states, and our countries work. If we want to build for our future, we need to put people first, instead of insiders and a well-connected few.
The fight goes on. Fight against privatization goes on. Fight against these multinational companies goes on. And the fight for decency, the common decency of the workers around the world goes on. So let us fight together with you, with the members of the ITF. Long live international solidarity. Thank you.
A special tribute was presented in honor of former longtime president of Los Angeles Local 1277, Neil Silver, the funniest man in ATU, and a labor legend who always stood up for his members through a combination of grit, guts, and humor. And the late ATU General Counsel Earl Putnam, the father of legislation that has protected transit workers' collective bargaining rights for over 50 years, Section 13C, was acknowledged with a plaque presented to his daughter, Nora Dunn. To commemorate the 50th anniversary of the 1963 Civil Rights March on Washington, delegates watched a replay of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech, followed by a short performance in honor of Dr. King by Grammy Award-winning artists Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr.
It is fate to hear those diesels hum.
Delegates also attended a fundraiser for the ATU Disaster Relief Fund to help raise money to assist members and their families who have been devastated by natural disasters. 2 ATU heroes were honored for their bravery on the job. Local 1505 member Chris Doubleday, who, while driving his route in Winnipeg, gave the shoes on his feet to a man who had none. And local 697 member Geraldine Mitchell, who raced from her bus to stop a woman she noticed trying to commit suicide during her run in Toledo. Deserving locals and their leaders were also honored with awards, including the newly renamed Oscar Awards, presented by longtime International Secretary-Treasurer Oscar Owens to local officers for outstanding performances as financial secretaries. The ATU COPE Awards, presented to locals who raised the highest dollar amounts and had the highest percentages of their members contributing to the program. The newly renamed Gary Maurer Awards for excellence in organizing, and the first ever ATU Community Action Awards for success in coalition building. The historic 57th International Convention lived up to its theme. Delegates from all over Canada and the United States succeeded in building a platform for a more vibrant and forceful union, and strengthened their solidarity with each other as they looked forward to accomplishing so much more when they returned home.